When my husband, Richard Johnson, died, my world didn't just crumble, it imploded. 32 years of marriage, gone in a single heartbeat. We'd built a life together. Or at least, I thought we had. I believed in love, in loyalty, in family. But the day his will was read, I learned that love, loyalty, and family are sometimes just words people hide behind when they want to deceive you. Don't forget to like, comment and hit the notification bell for more stories. My son, Caleb, walked away with everything. The penthouse, the luxury cars, the stocks, even the company Richard built from the ground up. And me? I was left with an old garage on the outskirts of town. I remember staring at that lawyer, my heart pounding, my throat dry, as he read the last line of the will. To my beloved wife, Deborah Johnson, I leave the property located at 1429 Miller Street. That was it. No explanation. No letter. Just a useless, decaying piece of property I didn't even remember we owned. Caleb smirked as we left the lawyer's office. He didn't even hide it. He looked at me with those cold, ungrateful eyes and said, "Guess Dad finally realized what you're worth." I should have slapped him. But I was too numb, too heartbroken to move. By nightfall, he kicked me out of the penthouse. He said, and I quote, "You're a useless old woman, Mom. Go play with your garage." So I did. I went there that same night, dragging my small suitcase through the rain, my shoes soaked, my dignity gone. But when I opened that rusted door, what I found inside changed everything I thought I knew. About my husband, about my son, and about myself. Because buried in that rundown old garage was the truth. And the truth? It's the most dangerous thing in the world. The street was empty when I arrived. The rain had stopped, but thunder still rolled in the distance. The building looked like it hadn't seen life in 20 years. Peeling paint, broken windows, rusted hinges. And yet, when I stepped closer, I noticed something odd. The front door's lock was new. Not new, but newer than the rest. Someone had been here recently. I hesitated before pushing the door open, the hinges squealing like something dying. The smell hit me first, a mix of oil, rust, and damp earth. But beneath that was something else. Something electronic. A faint humming sound, like machinery. I turned on my phone flashlight and scanned the space. There were broken car parts, an old workbench, and a cracked window letting in streaks of moonlight. Then I saw it, a metal door at the far back of the garage. Sleek. Modern. Completely out of place. I walked closer, my heart pounding. It had a thick padlock on it, rusted but strong. And that's when I noticed a faint marking scratched into the wall beside it. DJ. My initials. I whispered, "What were you hiding, Richard?" The question barely left my lips before instinct kicked in. I searched the workbench, found a wrench and an old screwdriver, and got to work. It took nearly half an hour, but the padlock finally snapped open with a sharp crack. And as I pushed that door open, I gasped. Behind it was a hidden room, pristine and untouched. Clean walls. Polished floors. Shelves stacked with files. Computers. Hard drives. It was like stepping into another world. And right in the middle of it, a single folder sat on a desk. Labeled in bold red letters. Project DJ. I picked up the folder with trembling hands. Inside were pages of blueprints, documents, and patent certificates, all stamped and signed. And every single one had my name on it. Inventor, Deborah Johnson. But I had never designed a thing in my life. The patents were worth millions. Medical equipment, renewable energy systems, automotive software. Each stamped, dated, and approved over the past decade. My husband had been building something, and he'd done it under my name. At the back of the file was a smaller envelope. Inside was a USB drive and a handwritten note. For Deborah. If you find this, it means I'm gone. Plug this in, and trust no one. My pulse raced. I turned on one of the computers, inserted the USB, and waited. The screen flickered to life, and there he was. Richard. Pale. Tired. But alive, on video. Deborah, if you're watching this, it means I didn't make it. There are things I couldn't tell you. Caleb is not who you think he is. He's been laundering money through the company, using offshore accounts. When I confronted him, he threatened me. I transferred everything, every patent, every real asset, into your name to protect it. The garage holds all proof. You're the only one I trust. He paused, coughing weakly. They'll come for it, Deborah. Don't let them take it. Don't let him take it. Then, the screen went black. I sat there, frozen. The man I'd shared my life with, who I thought had left me with nothing, had actually given me everything. And my son had betrayed him. I didn't even notice the sound at first, until the soft crunch of gravel outside made my heart stop. Someone was out there. I turned off the computer and killed the lights. Footsteps. 2 of them. Voices. Low, male, familiar. Boss said the old woman might come here. You sure she knows where the files are? I froze. Caleb. My own son had sent people after me. I hid behind a shelf, clutching the wrench. The door creaked open, and 2 men stepped in, flashlights sweeping the room. Check that corner. Nothing but junk here. They moved closer to the hidden door. One of them tugged it, but the broken lock held in place. It's sealed. She hasn't been here yet. I waited until they left, my breath trembling. Then I bolted the door and packed everything I could carry. The USB, the documents, the golden key I'd found in the cabinet marked Vault 71. That night, I slept in the corner, hugging those files like they were my last lifeline. Because they were. The next morning, I took the first train to Chicago. The key had a small number engraved, 71 to 509. At the bank, I told the manager I was there for my late husband's safe deposit box. He looked hesitant, but after checking the records, his expression changed. Ah, Mrs. Johnson. I was instructed to allow access only to you. Inside Vault 71 was a box, small, heavy, sealed with a code. When I opened it, I nearly dropped it. Stacks of documents. Hard drives. Bank receipts. Millions of dollars in bearer bonds. And a handwritten will, different from the one that had been read in court. In this version, everything, the company, assets, patents, and accounts, belonged to me. It was the real will. Caleb had forged the one that had stripped me bare. My tears fell before I realized I was crying. I whispered, "Oh, Richard, you knew." Then the alarm in my head went off, metaphorically and literally. Because the moment I left the bank, I saw Caleb's car parked across the street. He saw me too. And his expression was pure rage. That night, I checked into a cheap motel. I needed time to think. I knew Caleb would come after me. He couldn't afford for the truth to get out. But I wasn't the naive wife anymore. I was the woman Richard had prepared, quietly, in secret, for this very moment. I spent the night scanning documents, uploading copies of evidence to cloud servers, and emailing a trusted journalist friend Richard had once mentioned, Elena Morales, an investigative reporter. By dawn, Caleb was banging on my motel door. "Mom, open up." His voice, furious, desperate. I opened, calm and steady. He barged in, grabbed my arm. "Where's the USB, Mom?" "You mean the one where Dad confesses you stole from him?" I replied coldly. He froze. For the first time, I saw fear in his eyes. He tried to snatch my purse, but I stepped back and smiled. "Go ahead. Take it." He didn't realize I'd already sent the files to every major news outlet in the city. By the time he opened it and found nothing but a decoy drive, police sirens wailed in the distance. Caleb turned to run, but it was too late. Two detectives burst into the hallway, guns drawn. "Caleb Johnson, you're under arrest for fraud, forgery, and financial crimes." He glared at me, pure venom in his eyes. "You think you've won, old woman?" I stepped closer and whispered, "No, Caleb. I earned it." Months passed. The court cleared my name. Caleb was sentenced to 15 years in prison. And Richard's company, now legally under my ownership, flourished once again. But I didn't move back into the penthouse. I went back to that old garage. The one everyone thought was worthless. I rebuilt it. Repainted the walls. Rewired the lights. Turned it into something new, the Johnson Innovation Center, a community workshop where young engineers and inventors could create freely, no greed, no lies. On opening day, I stood under the sunlight pouring through the open doors. And I whispered softly, "We did it, Richard. You and I." The wind blew through the open bay, carrying the scent of oil, paint, and new beginnings. I wasn't just Deborah Johnson, the widow who got left with a garage. I was Deborah Johnson, the woman who turned betrayal into power. And this time, no one would ever call me useless again. They still whisper about me in town. The woman who inherited a garage and found a fortune. The mother who took down her own son. They call it scandal. I call it justice. Because sometimes, the things people throw away are the very things that save you. And the garage my husband left behind? It wasn't my punishment. It was his last gift.